Welcome back to the Fixed Ops Roundtable. It is a great honor to welcome back Kaylee Felio, who is the Sales and Marketing Manager at Parts Edge. Kelly, welcome back to the conference.
Thanks for having me. This is a great event, and I'm really happy to be here.
We're really happy to have you. You've got an amazing panel at this event too. We're really talking about a lot of new things that are happening in parts. There's a whole new aura coming, and of course, there's some important things we need to address, which you're going to help us do today. But really excited about all you got going, Kaylee. And I hear and I see Parts Edge everywhere now when I look online. So congratulations to you.
Thank you. It's getting out there more, but I'm also think that dealers are looking at their parts department a little bit differently than they did a few years ago. So I really think that's a part of a lot of the, maybe seeing Parts Edge more or everything. So
Yeah. Well, hey, you're keeping us focused and keeping us grounded. What are we going to talk about today?
So today I want to talk about the trend of obsolescence.
Okay. Well, you know what? That's a topic that's come up, but I think you're going to get into some depth on it. And I think we're ready to hear about that, Kaylee. So
Thank you. Yeah,
take it
I'm
away.
really excited. A lot of times obsolescence gets brought up, and there's this constant battle of let's get rid of it. How do we get rid of it? But I'm going to take you guys a step back and look at the domino effect of obsolescence, basically the trend of obsolescence. So we all know the parts and service department is responsible for, I think, even more than half of dealership gross profits, right? It's a $1 billion industry. 75 billion of that is sales of parts. So it's a big deal. Parts and service is a big opportunity, and is one of those second largest capital investments behind used cars.
Mm-hmm.
And so, although this has changed, it's often found that, parts departments are underfunded, undersupported, understaffed, and then they're also blamed for things not happening. So we're going to change that. We're going to talk about the mindset, the shift. How can we change that within our parts departments? And I think the number one thing is look at your processes, invest in tools and support, ongoing education. Historically, we've always let parts managers just kind of learn on the job, which that's how we're supposed to learn, but we also should invest in their education to really learn about, inventory management, how to be a parts man or how to be a manager. So they can shift their thinking from reactive to proactive. Because that's what happens. We get stuck in the day-to-day and we react to everything, and we don't have time to look at things what did we talk in our panel today where it was how can we look at things so that the parts manager can look at it as their own business rather than in the day-to-day.
You had a couple parts managers saying it's like three businesses in one. It's the retail, they got the wholesale, and now they've got the online, Kaylee. And that's really an exciting new dawn in parts, because I think you're going to see an explosion in the way parts are sold and the way that they're offered and the way they're marketed. So, this is the right time to be talking about this, because we got to get our house in order, right? Like you're saying, to be able to move forward.
Exactly. Because now that we have these three separate departments, we need to make sure there's processes in place to support each department so that they can be successful. Like we've always said, you're either in wholesale or you're not. That's the same thing with online sales. You're either in or you're not, and you need to, develop the training and support to be able to be in it, because that's where we're going, right? All right. So then we're going to get into obsolescence. So obsolescence that sits at 18% or higher, and it continues to come back, that's a huge red flag. At Parts Edge, our goal is always 0%. And I've seen it with parts managers. It takes really working hard to get it and maintain it at a low percentage. But if it's sitting at 18% or higher, that's a red flag. What is going on? Why is this obsolescence happening? Why do you continue to have it? I also want to take another step back, and obsolescence is tracked differently. But overall, I think as an industry, 12 months, 13 months or higher, that's an obsolete part, right? Mm-hmm. So I want to make sure we all know what obsolescence, how we identify it.
Absolutely.
And then so the sources, this is the domino effect. So we start with excess inventory. So excess is defined as a part that is on hand, that has an on-hand quantity that exceeds your calculated best stocking level. These parts can become hidden because they are parts that are selling, but your DMS said you needed 5, but you have 10. So those extra 5 are in excess, which can, even though they're selling, you have more than you need, and it can trickle down into the next category of leading to obsolescence. So it's really important to track this category of inventory so that it doesn't get out of hand. Then we have forced stock. This is the number one reason for obsolescence. And we talked about this today too, where special orders, parts that your DMS said you didn't need, and you have it. So these parts can typically make up between 30 to 50% of your on-hand value. That's a large percentage of parts that you have on hand that you ordered that your DMS said you shouldn't have. We do need special orders, right? We do need to be able to order those to basically, assess whether or not you need to stock that part. But gaining control over this category is very important in your process, because it's not just over ordering by technicians, returns from wholesale customers, and now even online sales if you do allow returns. Manufacturer programs, that can be a huge lead into forced stock. And order error. You have a new parts counter person. It happens. It's part of the business. But if you're not tracking it, again, it's going to lead into obsolescence.
In fact, even the great parts leaders on your panel at this event, Kaylee, all of them talked about different parts of this forced stock, and they all recognized it. And you know what? It's a huge part of everybody's business. So yeah.
Yeah, it's part of business, right? You have to have forced stock to know what you need to stock. But if you just kind of let it be there and just kind of not track it and just let it sit and say it's going to figure out itself, it's not going to. And so that's what they were talking about with the process to, really control it, your special order process. And then this is technical obsolescence. So it's a term that we adopted early on, and it's the parts with no sales or receipts in a 7 to 12 month period. So these parts have a 95% chance of selling, and they're headed towards obsolescence. So these are really what you need to track. And we have a great ebook on this, actually, that you can do some calculation to be able to, basically see what you have coming at you in obsolescence. So basically you take all the parts in the 7 to 12 month category, divide it by 6, because that's a 6-month period. That's your average of what's going to come at you and to go into the next category of obsolescence. So if you're not accruing or have a return allowance of, let's say, 5,000 or more, because maybe that's what the calculation equals to, then your obsolescence is going to grow by 5,000. So this is a great category to really help forecast and control your obsolescence moving forward. Okay, that was a lot in one sentence. And then the next thing we talk about is finding a happy balance, because these are a lot of categories. This is a lot of information, a lot of data, but finding a happy balance of healthy amount of obsolescence. When you have a new parts manager come in and they're taking over a lot of obsolescence, it's, as a leader, it's your job to make sure that they're set up to be able to get that to a more controllable amount. Because coming into that, nightmare or headache is overwhelming, because that's not just one of the headaches that they're going to have to deal with. So just finding a happy balance of what obsolescence is a healthy amount for your dealership.
Mm-hmm.
And then we talk about just the most issues that parts and service comes is the lack of being proactive. I think I mentioned it before, where they're so stuck in the day to day where they're not given the tools or the data to be able to treat it as their business, to be more proactive. How can we grow a business? What categories do we need to look at in inventory to make better decisions? So this is the most important thing, is giving your team the tools to be more proactive. And I think I'll get a bonus point for saying proactive again. A lot. Okay, so then we're exploring the possibilities. So investing in your team, you can have more sales because you have more of the right parts, by looking at these categories of your inventory and controlling them better, and not wasting your time on constantly trying to get rid of obsolescence. That's pretty much the main thing with that one. And then that's it. Thank you.
So, Kaylee, part of what you do at Parts Edge, you help dealers understand obsolescence. I know you've got white papers on it, but you really help improve these processes to avoid this, and to help dealers work through it.
Yeah, we do. We show parts managers and dealers their true data, and really how how their inventory health is and how we can improve. And we actually help the parts managers with those improvements, rather than just saying, here you go, good luck. We're like working with the parts manager to really like figure out what needs to happen within the DMS. The goal is always the same, producing a better inventory, but each parts manager's needs are different. Their levels are different, their experience is different. So that's my job, is really assessing, okay, where are they at? What do they actually need? But again, the goal is always the same, producing the most profitable inventory.
Kaylee Felio, everybody, is easy to reach. Her company, partsedge.com. You can check them out online. Her email is here, kaylee.felio@partsedge.com. And might be even easier to connect with her on LinkedIn. She's on LinkedIn every day, and she's always posting, and is a great advocate and a great friend of the Fixed Ops community. And Kaylee, we're very grateful to you in opening our eyes to a lot of new possibilities in parts. Love what you've done here, and love the panel at this event. And I want to wish you and your family a happy Thanksgiving.
Thank
As
you.
well.
Thanks. It was great to be able to share that. So I appreciate it, and happy
Yeah.
Thanksgiving.
Hey, we enjoyed it so much. Kaylee, thank you for all you do for our industry. Kaylee Felio, everybody, from Parts Edge, here today at the Fixed Ops Roundtable.
Thank you.